Welcome to my first pick a card reading. My name is Becca, and we're going to go through a few things before we get started. One, understand that tarot cannot predict your life, it is simply giving you a glimpse of the energy that you already have access to. Two, you are responsible and in charge of your life, not this reading. And three, only take what resonates. If you hear something and you're trying to force it or figure out a way to make it align, it's not for you. So just disregard. All right, now here are the decks we're going to be using. The first one is this Kuan Yin Oracle. The second is the Runners of the Sun Oracle. And the third is this Archetypes deck by Kim Krans. All right. So if you chose deck number one with the Serpentine, then this is for you. So we'll save this card for last. The first card we have is Speak Up. The second card that we have is Inspiration. And the third card we have is The One. Don't let my cat distract you. All right. We're going to start by reading the Speak Up. Speak your truth, stand up for yourself and others. Be honest and straightforward. No more sweeping things under the rug. This can be terrifying. Even when you speak up, but when you speak up, you may even help another person who is silently afraid to advocate for themselves. Become bold. You are allowed to rub people the wrong way, and that's okay. If you're speaking with integrity, the pros outweigh the cons. So, advocate, boldness, and honesty. Before that, we have inspiration. Bam. This is a burst of inspiration right out of the blue. You have been gifted with a great idea, and so you should run with it. If you're not sure that it's really the right move, imagine yourself having completed all the steps and just see how you feel being there. Be open to a great idea just hitting when you least expect it. This is about enlightenment, bolt from the blue, and creativity. All right. And then getting into the wow, I opened right to it. I love when that happens. Okay, so non duality, one love, unus mundus. Our ability to experience this archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor for a lifetime. The one is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense this intimate union. This archetype eludes us in most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. Yet when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across all of the land. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all consciousness and are neither small nor large within that field. We are neither important nor unimportant. All duality fades away, and we are left with what is, the precious knowing that life is a gift, and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. So when this is a light within you, it is serving, loving, accepting, and resonant. When it's dark, it's ignoring, omitting, and excluding. So, all right. This one is so straightforward. I don't feel like there's too much more to say about it. But what I will say is it definitely feels like now is the time. Now is the time to act. Now is the time to speak. Now is the time to act on your inspiration. And now is also the time to sit in stillness, to sit in meditation, to literally give yourself moments of spaciousness so that you can continue to nurture and charge yourself through um, creating spaciousness within your body. So let's read this final one, and then I'm going to give you a practice for this time. This says, no matter how much chaos there seems to be in your world, trust it. It is just what is necessary to move you into the right place at the right time for what is meant to be in your future. When it is no longer needed, her hand shall gentle and end the war. Wow. This first reading is speaking to me so much. I think it's very clear that regardless of circumstances, this is about not letting circumstances control you anymore. This is about recognizing that circumstances don't have to be perfect in order for you to be acting from a place of inspiration, in order for it to be the right time for you to speak up, to act, to move boldly in the direction that you are envisioning for your future. And with this is about your body, mind, and spirit coming into unison. And again, giving yourself time and spaciousness within your vessel to do so. For this group, quiet time, quiet time, quiet time. This is not about solitude and that you don't hang out with others, but it is about not just filling your days with things that are not focused on what it is that you are consciously creating in your life right now. Because this feels like a season of focus and drive for you to take action on these ideas that have been waiting for you to take them for a minute. And that's all I got for you, pile one. Moving to pile two. If you chose the chrysocolla, I'm not sure how you say it, or you chose this card, this reading is for you. So we have forgiveness. Wish the glare wasn't so much. Forgiveness. We have circle. Ooh, big circle. And we have the cave. Okay, right away. This is some heart healing. I'm going to take my mic off again. This is heart healing. So before I even get into this from the books, I definitely think there is something about opening your heart back up and coming back into community with others, allowing yourself to forgive people from your past, um, and also forgive parts of yourself from the past. Maybe you did try to participate in community, or maybe there was a lot of learning around friendships and community that you are still navigating through. This is speaking to offering yourself forgiveness and grace. And in turn, when you are able to offer that to yourself, you are also able to offer that to others, and vice versa. Sometimes you see things that others did and you can relate to where they came from, what was driving them, especially whenever we're looking at things in hindsight, especially when there's age. Age is just additional experience. Um, and sometimes when you reach this point, you're feeling stuck in life, you can't move forward, you're finding yourself, shut off harder and harder to make connections, it's because some of us, our hearts have been hardened based on hurts from our past. So immediately I'm getting with this group, there is a deep need for you to forgive your past self, past people. And forgiving past people doesn't mean offering them any kind of olive branch or inviting them back into your life. It simply means sort of cutting ties with that situation, no longer allowing it to have a hold over you or to um, dictate how you move in relation to others anymore. So, yeah, let's. I'm going to just say this. I don't feel like there's too much of a need to get too deep into this reading anymore. Where is my book? Oh, here we go. We're just going to go over circle and forgiveness. Gather with your circle to make some serious magic happen. Working on your own is great, but right now the power of the group is calling you. Be inspired and refreshed by the amazing people you're surrounded by. Explore together, and you will learn things you didn't even know that you didn't know. This is about combining, surrounded, and safety. Then we have forgiveness. That blame is just as dear as praise, and praise as mere as blame. Forgiveness is hard, really hard. Don't force yourself if you're not there yet. The fact that you're trying is good enough for now. When we can truly forgive, we set ourselves free from anger and resentment that hurts us. Remember, forgiving someone does not mean you are giving them permission to hurt you again. You can still learn from it and maintain better boundaries. Forgiving isn't about saying you're okay with what happened, it's about releasing the hurt that you're holding on to. Yeah. And I'm just going to tell you straight up, the cave is very much about going back to that place within the heart, um, and being with the heart, being with stillness, being with that innermost tender place within you. And um, okay, this is straight up. I was thinking about this reading, and I knew that magnolia was going to come up at some point. And magnolia is for heart healing. So if you have magnolia, this would be a great thing to work with. You can literally just get it, put it in your palm, rub your hands together, sit and inhale it, and allow yourself to just feel as you're, working with this oil and this scent. Scent is very powerful, and it does have a physiological effect on our bodies. So I'm getting very strongly for this group magnolia. Typically, rose is something that I would, and maybe rose does speak to you, but I feel like for this group, magnolia is the flower to work with for you. All right, so we're going to read this last card, group 2, becoming friends with yourself. Why not give up trying to push, punish, or force your body? When you push, resistance is created. It is not defiance, it is natural law. This can make life harder than it needs to be. Instead, why not explore and find a way to relate to your body as a friend? Friendship is one of life's pleasures. Yeah, so across the board, this is about befriending yourself, befriending others, befriending yourself, body, and befriending others. All right, group 2, pile 2, that's all I have for you. Moving on to group 3 now. Okay, pile 3. I don't know why I'm feeling like dancing now. But maybe that has something to do with your reading. We'll see. All right, so pile 3, if you chose this card and or the selenite wand, this is your reading, pile 3. Ooh, intense. Right off the bat, we have attacked and we have teachers. Look at that attacked card. Attacked and teachers. All right. Oh, and then we have the sword. Okay. So I think there is a need to move your body. There is an energy that just needs to be released from your body. That may be like, okay, that may be coming out in the form of aggressive words, aggressively going after people because there's this irritation or and even as I'm saying that, this cat starts attacking our other cat. Hold on. Okay, as I was saying, and literally the cat started attacking the other. So this is about having an aggressive, what feels like anger and resentment, all this rage built up in your body that's now starting to come out. And I don't know, I'm getting that there might have been a situation in which you felt attacked, and maybe you came at someone really aggressively for that attack or what you perceive to be attack. This could also be you attacking someone. This could be physical, but I'm getting more that this is a verbal thing. And I think there's a need to move your body. There's a need to ground. You may even need to start going to the gym. And if you've already been thinking of this, take this as your sign. Go to the gym. You need to find healthy outlets to release this energy. Some of us do contain more energy than others, and we need healthy outlets for it. And then on top of that, when we are going through something that triggers up certain energy, it can also trigger old energy, old resentment, old rage, and it can be misdirected at the people around us who the magnitude of our rage or our emotions that we can direct towards people, individuals, is not relevant to that particular person. So, for example, this is you've been having a day, everything's been frustrating you, everything's going wrong, and then you get in traffic and someone cuts you off, and maybe they didn't even realize that they cut you off. You know, this is the scenario. They didn't even realize they cut you off. But for you, that was the last straw. And now all of the day's rage about everything going wrong is getting directed at this person. And you just on the steering wheel, you scream at them, you cuss them out, you're flicking them off. You know, you don't have to judge that part of yourself, but you do need to see that part for what it is. And there's something here about really taking responsibility for your words, really taking responsibility for your emotions, and recognizing that they are powerful and they should be channeled properly. So let's get into attack. All right. Wow. Okay. So this says nothing's what it seems to be. People can psychically attack you without realizing it. You can also do the same to others by accident. To remedy this, make it a priority to take care of your body. Energetically cleanse yourself. Stand outside in the sun and let its light burn away any gunk in your energy field that doesn't belong to you. Breathe in white light and exhale black smoke. Put on your armor and stand in your power. Yeah. So this is also about a cleanse, um, cleansing your energy. Other thing with teachers, two things. This could have been a teacher or a mentor of yours that has triggered you. And when I say teacher, I don't even necessarily mean someone that you've explicitly hired, although it could be. But I do mean someone who is on your path who is teaching you something about yourself. So we have a lot of teachers in our lives, and it's not always someone, again, that is explicitly our teacher, and that is the understood transactional nature of our relationship. Sometimes there are people who are in our lives to teach us something. And I think this is one of those moments. However, on the other end of that, this card could be indicating that it is time for you to hire someone to help you. This could be, teachers come in many forms, but I am getting that specifically a somatic therapist or some sort of spiritual mentor who can teach you somatic um, ways to sort of transmute and cleanse your energy. If you've already been getting those signals, take this as another sign. Work closely with someone who is willing to mentor you and help you along your path. On your journey, teachers will come when you are ready. The right teachers appear at the right time. They will also leave your life at the right time. It is unlikely you will only have one teacher for your entire learning career. So when it is time to move on, do so respectfully. Be wary of teachers who claim to have all of the answers and trust your gut. All right, so then finally we're going to read the sword. I don't know if I showed you guys this card, I'm sorry. The sword. This is from the archetype deck. And I haven't read, for the last reading, I didn't read every card, but this one is very potent to exactly what we're talking about. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from the other. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword is in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord that we share with our mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourselves. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. So, this is about cutting through to what is essential. And when it's dark, it is hasty, backstabbing, a dull, and painful blade. Okay, so the other scenario that's coming up as I'm reading this is if there is someone in your life that you do feel that there is some kind of psychic attack. And so, what I mean by that is literally just mentally, their thoughts towards you are ill. Okay, especially if you're in a vulnerable space, especially if maybe you've embarked on something new and you feel like people around you are critiquing that. This card is definitely encouraging you to go ahead and make that cut. You already know. Again, you don't have someone in your life that you feel this about, don't use this reading to create that scenario now. Your mind is very powerful, but simply take this as confirmation that if you have been feeling that, you are getting that sense, then take this as confirmation. So the final card for this, it says blessings bestowed. There is no end to the Divine Mother's ingenuity and grace. No obstacle can obstruct her generosity and protection. So get used to the feeling of joy, knowing something truly precious is unfolding in your life. Nurture that feeling like you would the readiness for spring in your heart. When winter is upon you, you know it is coming and you anticipate it with such pleasure. Okay, so yeah, very much. I feel like you do need to do a cleanse. There is a need to shed. I definitely feel like you need to move your body. You need to join a gym. You need to do something that gets you into your body. If it's not joining a gym, it's going to a fitness class. It's going to a dance class. Dance may be, I'm telling you, I was really getting dance for this pile. There is a need to let this energy move through you right now. And yeah, this is about taking responsibility for yourself psychically. And the more you take responsibility for yourself psychically, the clearer you hone that inner vision to really see when it's time to make certain cuts, when it's time, and this can also be with habits or situations or even a teacher. So, very specific message for a very small portion of you. This very much could be specifically about a spiritual teacher and actually cutting them out of your life and recognizing whenever a teacher has actually been harmful or is maybe siphoning some of your power. Yeah. I think that's all I want to say on this one. But I will say, like I said, really really work with your energy, practice some sort of cleanse. Um, and for all pals, obviously, meditation applies for you as well. But I really think dance and doing something to move your body, to feel into your body, is key for you, pile three. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. This was my first pick a card reading, and I'm so happy to finally be getting this channel started. I hope to do more, and of course, I'm looking forward to improving with everyone. But much like this first pile said, it was time to act. I'm taking that as my little confirmation. Um, and, you know, just getting started, just getting the ball rolling and perfecting later. I hope you'll be around for that journey with me. Thank you guys.